Hello and welcome to Living Well with Dr. Mike. I'm your host, Dr. Mike Cockrell, and I want to thank you so much for joining me here today. In today's episode, we're going to be talking about a topic that's really become of interest to me here in the last year, and that is about coconut oil and particularly how coconut oil affects belly fat. So, the information that I'm sharing with you today, I've adapted from a gentleman named Jake Carney who writes for the Alternative Daily. It's a great report that actually shares a lot of insight. But in today's episode, particularly, I want to be sharing a little bit of the research that's been put out there in the last few years about coconut oil and how coconut oil can actually make an impact on body fat. It sometimes sounds a little too good to be true. Food manufacturers really don't want you to know about some of the research out there, but there's some research studies that seem to indicate that coconut oil can actually work wonders on improving your health. Millions of people across America struggle with stubborn abdominal fat. This difficult to shed fat. And this is the fat that actually stores around our belly. It's called visceral fat. It actually can pack in around our organs. And it's the fat that we accumulate that increases our risk of type 2 diabetes, heart disease, inflammation, and a ton of other chronic illnesses. But according to some groundbreaking studies, the effects of coconut oil on belly fat may actually surprise you. So let's jump right in and look at a couple of these so we can get this information out here. First one was a study from 2009. It was published in the Journal of Lipids, and it consisted of testing the effects of either 2 tablespoons of coconut oil or 2 tablespoons of soybean oil on a group of 40 women over a span of about 28 days. The results basically showed that the group that ate the coconut oil had a decrease in abdominal fat, while the soybean oil group actually showed a slight increase. So, we have access to a whole host of products, but one of the things that I'm going to encourage you to look at changing just slightly is when it comes to cooking. Go ahead and get away from soy-based products, get away from the canola-based products, and actually start looking at possibly using more coconut oil for cooking. Now, another oil that I'm just going to throw in here while we're at this point is olive oil is a great source of healthy fats as well. It's hard to use olive oil to cook with unless you're just lightly sauteing because it don't tolerate high heat. But another great resource. The coconut oil, on the other hand, seems to work really well for all of those cooking needs. Additionally, in this Journal of Lipids article, the group that ate the coconut oil seemed to show an increase in HDL, which is the good cholesterol levels, while the soybean oil group had a decrease in good cholesterol, and actually they showed an increased LDL or bad cholesterol level. The second study comes out of the Journal of Nutrition, and it was a study that was published where the researchers were investigating all the studies relative to medium chain fatty acids that are abundant in coconut fat and are very popular for weight management. So what they found was that the studies that they were looking at, they did sort of like a meta review, and the study showed that diets rich in fat, such as those found in coconut oil, prompted a boost in metabolism, an increase in energy, a decrease in food consumption, reduced body weight, and lower body fat mass. The study authors highly recommended using oils that contained medium chain fatty acids such as coconut oil as a tool to drop extra abdominal fat, manage a healthy weight, and even as a way to potentially treat obesity. So, the third study that came out of the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition assessed body weight and fat storage relative to 3 different types of diets. They included a low fat diet, a high fat diet with long chain fatty acids, and a high fat diet with medium chain fatty acids. Remember, in the study, the medium chain fatty acids were the ones that are actually coming from coconut oil. In order to bring about weight gain, they the calorie intakes were adjusted for the diets. But at the end of the research period, this one was short too, it only lasted about 44 days. The low-fat diet group stored 0.47 grams of fat per day. The long chain fatty acid group stored 0.48 grams of fat per day, and the medium chain fatty acid group only stored a mere 1.19 grams of fat per day, despite them adjusting the calories to accommodate for all of this. Those in the medium chain fatty acid group basically showed a 60% reduction in the amount of body fat stored compared to other diets. So there's some of the research that goes along with coconut oil and abdominal fat. And there's some other benefits. Another added bonus of consuming organic coconut oil is that it tends to make us feel fuller longer. So, studies indicate that medium chain fatty acids help increase feelings of fullness. They lead to a reduction in calorie intake when compared to the same amount of calories from other fats. When medium chain fatty acids are metabolized, ketone bodies are created in the liver, and these have been shown to have a very strong appetite reducing effect, and they help you lose fat faster. At the time we're doing this article, we just moved through the holidays, and dealing with overeating and appetite is a big subject around my house, especially. So, there's a few other things that we may want to share with coconut oil that I'm going to jump to real quick. What you'll see is that in using coconut oil, there have been a number of revelations, I guess, over the last 5 or 8 or 10 years that really seem to promote the health benefits of these medium chain fatty acids. Here's a few others that I want you to understand. Coconut oil contains some of the healthiest substances on earth. It's no secret, they compare this, it's no secret that breastfeeding is probably about the best thing a mother can do to boost her child's immune system. And what makes mother's milk so healthy is that it contains high amounts of lauric acid. Outside of mother's milk, there's only 3 dietary sources of lauric acid. Coconut oil is the most concentrated of the 3. Let's see some other benefits. Coconut oil helps fuel your metabolism. We mentioned this. Researchers have discovered that in cultures where unrefined coconut oil is part of the everyday diet, there's less obesity, less lifestyle related diseases. Unfortunately, very little coconut oil is consumed in the U.S., and metabolic syndrome, along with the symptoms of obesity, diabetes, and heart disease, is at epidemic proportions. There's information that indicates that coconut oil may help boost your thyroid. We know that over 13 million Americans suffer from low thyroid function, and most don't understand the cause. It's really no wonder, because most of the processed foods that we eat contain iodine blockers. The foods we eat have little or no iodine, and iodine is essential for optimal thyroid function. If you're cooking with vegetable oil, you may want to stop, because it's time to stop. It'll block the vegetable oils really seem to block iodine uptake. Plus, without a healthy thyroid, weight loss is nearly impossible, especially for women. Another benefit is that coconut oil seems to protect and beautify your skin. People living in the tropics have beautiful wrinkle-free skin, because coconut oil is not only part of their diet, but also part of their beauty regimen. Coconut oil is a natural moisturizer. It's a natural cleanser. It's an effective sunscreen. Thanks to the medium chain fatty acids, they can protect your skin and heal it at the same time. Coconut oil can save your brain. Alzheimer's disease, we know, is on the rise, but you can do some things about this, because you just need to pay attention to what you're doing. We do know that adding some of the medium chain fatty acids allow your body to produce more ketones, getting away from processed sugars. The ketone bodies actually are beneficial for your brain. When medium chain fatty acids are metabolized by the body, you create these ketones. But there's a catch. You got to get away from the processed sugars too, in order to ever give your body an opportunity to break down fat, oxidize fat, and actually form ketone bodies. So, Coconut oil is great for your heart. Heart disease, we know, is a scary disease. It's often treated with even scarier drugs like the statin medications. Um, the statins, which are the cholesterol lowering drugs, tend to deplete the body of a number of nutrients. They disrupt the ATP regulatory system sometimes. They're not really good drugs to take. So if you can avoid them, I would encourage you to avoid them. Coconut oil is full of heart healing benefits that can help prevent the need for these drugs and even help keep you from getting sick in the first place. Uh, so there, coconut oil. There you go. We've talked about a lot of things today, so I'm just sort of going to wrap it up on that. But if you want to look at the full article that Jake did, you can find that at www.doccockrell. That's DOCCOCKRELL.com / coconut oil. Um, I encourage you to go check that out. I've written a blog post in the past about that. That's easy to access, and his entire article is linked in there. So if you want to see the entire array of information that he presents, I've just done a quick synopsis of it today. I would also encourage you to go to our new online store at livingwellwithdrmike.info. I've just updated a couple of new online classes that I think you might be delighted to see. A brand new weight loss class that just came out called the Rapid Weight Loss System. I've designed that specifically for people who need to jumpstart their weight loss, get rid of 5, 10, 15, 20 pounds just in the next couple of 3 weeks so that you can really get boosted and get going. It's a short course that only has about 5 or 6 lessons in it, but it's easy to access. It gives you the information you need to get started quickly so that you can shed those unwanted pounds and get your weight loss moving in a good direction. I've also got my Simply Weight Loss online course, which is a more extended course to help you develop a permanent lifestyle of weight loss. You can certainly find Living Well with Dr. Mike online course in there, where I have taken the best of all of my blog posts and podcast and combine them and put them into a online course that gets updated each and every month with new information. That database is continually growing, and then I've categorized those topics, those all those podcasts and blog posts into topical sections, so that if you want to find information on your hormones or your thyroid or weight loss, you just flip to that section and all of the information is right there readily available for you. So I want to thank you so much for joining me here today. I hope this information has been beneficial to you. I also invite you to join me on Facebook at facebook.com / living well with Dr. Mike. I welcome your feedback. I love hearing from you guys. I love the questions that I'm getting, and I'm going to continue to build and create content around those questions. So if you have something that you need addressed, let me know. If you have a particular problem you're struggling with or dealing with, I would love to know about it, because what I will do is I will do the research, put together the information, and be happy to share that information directly with you because you asked for it. But also it gives me an opportunity to share it with other people who are probably struggling with the same things but just haven't been willing to ask about it. So that being said, I hope you have a great day. I look forward to talking to you soon, and I look forward to seeing you inside one of my new online classrooms. Take care.